Hello sir, my name is Muhammad Hidayatullah Sinaga. This video is my last assignment in your introduction to linguistic class, and the topic I want to talk here is forensic linguistic, and we should analyze a case using forensic linguistic approach. So the case that I want to analyze is suicide letter was written by bullying victim, namely Danny Fitzpatrick, as legal evidence. So I already analyzed it and I already arranged it. So this is the discussion about analysis of the case. This is the discussion. On August 11, 2016, a 13-year-old teenager named Danny Fitzpatrick, who attended the Holy Angels Catholic Academy in Barrett, Brooklyn, United States, was found dead by hanging himself using his belt in the attic of his house. His sister found his lifeless body. After finding out the cause of Danny's death was caused by the bullying he experienced while he was at school. The people who bullied Danny at school are his own classmates. This can be seen from the suicide letter written by Danny addressed to his school. This letter went viral on social media and became a lot of discussion among netizens and activists. In the letter, the names of the friends who bullied Danny included John, Marco, Jose, Jack, and Anthony. He wrote down the events he experienced when he was bullied by his classmates in the suicide letter he made. This is a photo of the suicide letter written by him. After knowing the reason why Danny decided to commit suicide, Danny's family took this case to the realm of law in an effort to seek justice for Danny. Various attempts have been made but did not produce good results. In an interview conducted by Staten Island Resources in 2020, in which Maren Fitzpatrick, or Danny's mother, as an interview with the team The Danny Foundation and Bullying, stated that Danny's family had hired a lawyer and had filed a lawsuit against the school, but the lawsuit could not be forwarded because it is unfounded. There is no evidence that can support the letter written by Danny. Danny's family also doesn't know for sure who bullied Danny, along with other concrete evidence besides the letter he wrote. Students in Danny's class testified that they have helped Danny as best they can. In addition, the settlement that was carried out by the school was that they want to give money to Danny's family so that Danny's family will restatement that in fact Danny was not being bullied at school. However, Danny's family disapproved of this and did not sign the agreement. According to her, this is unethical because it is tantamount to them thinking that Danny lied in the letter he wrote. Danny's family only wants the school to make a scholarship in Danny's name instead. The school also issued a statement that they will run a bullying prevention program in school even better. After carrying out various problem-solving activities carried by Danny's family in an effort to provide justice for him, the perpetrator who made Danny and his life cannot be determined with certainty until now. However, his family still did something as a tribute and legacy for Danny, namely, they founded a foundation called the Danny Foundation as a place to help prevent bullying and make other children not feel what Danny felt. In that case, no one was the perpetrator in court of Danny's death. This may be due to a number of reasons, namely the perpetrators of the bullying that bullied Danny who were underage, where they could not be punished in court. This may be due to the absence of articles regarding this matter in the legislation in the state of the United States of America. After that, there was no supporting evidence that could strengthen the letter written by Danny. The Holy Angels Catholic Academy's lawyer may be stronger than Danny's family attorney, so that Danny's family demands were easily dismissed in court. In fact, if we only read the suicide letter written by Danny, we can already know who the perpetrators of bullying Danny, and the school was negligent in preventing the bullying that Danny experienced at school. He wrote the names of the perpetrators who bullied him directly along with the acts of bullying he experienced. And when viewed in forensic linguistic, the suicide letter written by Danny can be court evidence to determine who the perpetrators of the bullying are. Someone who has decided to commit suicide, of course, has feelings that have reached the lowest point of sadness. If judging from psycholinguistic, when he wrote this letter, he must have felt very deep sadness. It's impossible for a person who feels a high level of sadness to commit a lie. It was sincere and honest from his heart when he wrote the letter, in my opinion. This can already be very clear evidence when examined linguistically. The perpetrators listed in the letter can be made suspect in court and subject to punishment according to the level of abuse they committed. If the same thing happened in Indonesia, the perpetrators listed in the letter written by Danny could immediately be charged with criminal penalties because there are articles that regulate this. The article that discuss this matter are as follows. The names and parties written by Danny in his letter could be entangled in several of the article above if this happened in Indonesia. Danny's classmates such as Anthony, John, Mario, Josh, and Jack who beat him up can be charged with pasal 170 KUHP ayat 1 dan pasal 351 ayat 1. Moreover, John had a direct fight with Danny which caused Danny's pinky finger to crack and can be charged with pasal 170 KUHP ayat 2 dan pasal 351 KUHP ayat 2. All friends who bullied Danny can also be charged with pasal 170 KUHP ayat 2 dan pasal 351 KUHP ayat 3 for making Danny decide to end his life. Teachers and related parties who ignored Danny when he reported what happened to him could be charged with pasal 359 KUHP because of their failure to prevent Danny from being bullied and causing Danny to end his life. However, keep in mind that children under the age of 14 cannot be imprisoned. They will be returned to their parents after investigation and trial. It sounds unfair, but of course, a child who has already been tried will certainly receive social sanction that are as severe as a prison sentence from the surrounding community. So, Danny's friends who bullied him who were under the age of 1 could not be jailed, whereas those who are 14 years and over will be subject to punishment and written in the article previously mentioned. If in a different case, the age of the perpetrators who bullied the victim was over 14 years old, then it is certain that they will be subject to the punishment as stated below. So, for the conclusion, from the analysis that was carried out on the suicide case of Danny Fitzpatrick, who was bullied by his classmate, for which Danny later wrote a suicide note, it was concluded that The perpetrator who bullied Danny at school could not be charged due to a lack of supporting evidence other than a suicide note that was written by him. In the Indonesian state legislation, there are articles that are relevant to the information contained in the letter written by Dani. The perpetrators can also sentence based on the articles and paragraph related to the action taken by the perpetrators. Sentence to the perpetrators cannot be carried out because the perpetrators who bullied Dani are under 14 years old, while the applicable law in Indonesia can only be imposed on people over 40 years of age. This shows that the relevance of laws and cases that occur in each country is different. If there is the same case and the same evidence in a country and compared to other countries, the follow-up of the case can be different because each country has different laws. That is my forensic linguistic analysis about Danny Fitzpatrick case. Thank you for your attention, sir. Thank you very much.